This is one whole. I use the word unit a lot because kids will see that a lot. It is just another way of saying one. Kids know this is one whole unit. When I start bringing in other fractions, these are halves. If I line up 1/2 with the second half, they can now see that 2/2 equals 1 whole, because the amount of space that it takes up is what a fraction represents. It's how many pieces make up the whole, and this is one piece out of 2. So 2 parts out of 2 is all of it, or the whole 1 unit. That's an important place to start. And so I also have thirds. Most kids, when they're learning about fractions, have a hard time understanding the fact that the larger number, typically, which is 3, represents a smaller part of the whole than this 1/2, which I'll put over here. And so that's the first misconception, is that kids are used to thinking 3 is more than 2. Now, the reason the 3 makes sense is because it takes 3 parts to make the 1 whole, versus with halves, it takes 2 parts to make the 1 whole. It's 3 parts out of 3 to make that 1 whole. This type of work with your kids is really important. Also, just by having them write these fractions and write these equivalency statements, that'll help get them going. Or you write it, but then they can express it and say it to you. Now here I have a fourth, and so up on the board, there are 4 fourths. And once again, the pattern shows that it takes 4 of these pieces to make 1 whole unit. 4 parts out of 4 is now the equivalent to 1 whole. But as your kids play around with these pieces, they can start to see equivalency. 1/2 is exactly the same as 2/4. And when kids see this, make sure you write it down or have them write it down so they can really think about what these numbers mean. Because that's really what's lacking in a lot of kids, is making sense of what all these numbers mean when it comes to fractions. Work on that it should take hours, or at least an hour of work with your 5, 6, 7-year-old to really let that sink in. If you have these fraction bars, they go down to 6, 8, 9, 12, so you can really start to see lots of equivalent fractions. Look for part 2 soon. Thanks, and please like and follow Super Teacher Guy. So do it on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. It's all just Super Teacher Guy. Thanks. Bye-bye.